All right, we're back. Mike in White Plains. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good, what's happening?
Hey, Mike, I'm a huge football fan, Mike, but I find myself watching less and less of football only because NFL officiating has become absolutely putrid. And when you look at some of the box scores on Sunday, you know, the Chiefs penalized 8 times 100 yards, the Saints 7 times almost 100 yards, the Cardinals 10 times 100 yards, the Jets 12 times 124 yards, the Patriots 8 times 100 yards, Seattle 15 times over 100.
I got the point.
Hey, Mike, is there, you know, any sort of communication, you know, from the commissioner to the league where, hey, you know, we kind of screwed the Jets last Sunday. Maybe we can pick up a flag here and there.
They didn't screw the Jets, though. I'm being honest, they didn't screw the Jets. The guy got the call. They got the call right.
Mike, if you watch some of the calls on the roughing the passer call,
you can't tell me the Jet call is wrong when it's right. I know you don't like the call, but the call was right.
Mike, if you saw the roughing the passer on Cutler
that's a
put his head down,
different
Mike.
call. You didn't bring up that one. You just said the Jet call was a terrible call. It wasn't.
Mike, you don't think NFL officiating is part of the reason why ratings are just so down?
I don't think there's anything they can do. Listen, I don't like all the flags either, but I don't think the officiating is why the ratings are down. I really don't think, because the officiating was bad 10 years ago. So if you think the officiating is any different, Mike, than it was 10 years ago, you're wrong. It's not. Officiating is not worse now. The officiating was bad 10 years ago. All right, some crews are worse than others. You know there's certain crews that are going to throw an inordinate amount of flags. You know that, okay? Walt Coleman's crew is going to throw flags all the time. You know, last night's crew is going to throw flags. As a matter of fact, I think they are the number one. I believe they are number one in flags. I believe that. All right? Now, the Eagles come off a game on Thursday night, and nobody in New York talked about this. They were so incensed by the officiating in the Carolina-Philly game, where they were penalized 10 times for 126 yards, and Carolina was penalized once for 10 yards. They were out penalized by 116 yards in the game. 100 yards is a touchdown. That they wanted to put out a petition that crew never work their games again. So there are some places where, and last night, if you watched the Philly game open, where they had penalties on their first 4 plays last night, which was utterly absurd to watch at the game. And I didn't like every one of the calls. And I thought last night, are we kidding or what? I don't know how many penalties they wound up with last night in the Philly game. Let me look. But they had 4 on the first 4 plays of the game. Last night they wound up with 9. They wound up with 9, and Washington wound up with 5. But they had 4 in the first 4 plays of the game. But I don't think it's the officiating that is the biggest issue. I think there are a lot of issues. I think injuries is a big problem. I think cord cutting is an enormous problem. People are not watching the NFL the same way because they're not watching TV the same way. Cable TV is dying. And that's changing how everybody watches these games. And it's changing. The young guys are not watching the game the same way we watch the game. They're watching snippets of games. They're watching red zone. They're watching abbreviated parts of the game. They're not sitting down and watching the game the same way. Plus, you're seeing attendance falling at certain stadiums. And the anthem protest has clearly caused a big issue for them. All those are reasons. Chris in Morris Plains, I don't think it's the officiating. Chris in Morris Plains, New Jersey, what's up?
Hey, Mike. Hey, listen. First of all, thanks for all the time you had. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm a big Eli fan. I saw Eli play every game. I was with Charlie Connolly and Tittle and Phil. I've seen them all. Eli's the best quarterback the Giants have ever had. However, I do think coming in the future, Eli should play the half to keep his streak alive. But I think this kid Davis, they got to look at him a little bit. What do you think?
Listen, I don't think that's fair to the team or to Eli to do it that way. I think you got to let Eli do the game, play the games. If the last couple of games of the season, you say to Eli, we're 3-10, and we want to look at Webb at quarterback, then go ahead. Go ahead. He's not going to like it, but go ahead. But you are hurting your chance to win games, and these coaches are going to try and win games. Their job could be on the line. See, what I think fans do, and I know this because having spent as many years around coaches as I have, and I've had obviously very close friends who are coaches, and NFL coaches get furious when somebody says meaningless game. It drives them mad. They play 16 games. They don't think any of them are meaningless, no matter what their record is. They do not think the game is meaningless. And it drives them mad when people think that, all right, there's 5 games left and they're meaningless games. Well, they don't think they're meaningless games. And they all think the same way. They want to win the game. So when Eli gets on there and says, I want to win the next game. You got 16 of these. You want to win. He wants to put another W, not another L next to it. It's like a pitcher and telling the pitcher, hey, do you want to go out tonight and win the game or lose the game? He wants to go out and win the game. He doesn't want to go out and lose the game because he's going to have another W or an L next to his name. Paul and Raritan, what's up, Paul?
So, Mike, you want to completely discount stats between Breeze and Eli?
I don't want to completely discount stats, but they're not. It's not. You got to take stats into account, though, where they come from.
So again, this is why I completely disagree with you. First of all, I don't even think they're in the same ballpark between Breeze as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. But that's like you want to basically say, okay,
what are you basing it on?
Let's discount. Okay, listen, I'm going to go on your comparison. Let's discount Emmitt Smith's accomplishments because he had a great offensive line and he played on turf.
This is not about Emmitt Smith right now.
No, but it's about
no,
Breeze,
it's not
because of his offense. And
it's not only his offense; it's where he played. Playing in that dome. Go look at his stats. Go take a little chance.
I get it, but that's part of it. We can
it's
play
not
the game
it's
all
not
day,
a part of it. It's not a part of it. It is such an enormous part of it. It's unbelievable. His stats are like looking at a Colorado baseball player on home and away. That's how dominant his stats are in that dome. His stats in that dome are otherworldly compared to what they are home and away. And if you don't take that into account, you're not paying attention. He doesn't go on the road and have those numbers, ever. Those games are all in those dome shootouts. And if that excites you, that he beat a team 48-10 instead of 24-10 because he's throwing 9,000 touchdown passes in the dome on that carpet, go ahead. That excites you, fine. That doesn't make him better because he does that. If he goes on the road and does it in a playoff game, it makes him better. And their careers in terms of what they've done in big games is very comparable. And Eli's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and he's only won 1 Super Bowl. 2 o'clock, here's the Mink Man.
WFAN, WFAN FM, New York.